ladies and gentlemen, to the first edition of the MCDFNL Netball Show here on the MCDFL website. It's fantastic to have a show dedicated solely to the netball arm of our fantastic league. Coming to you every month. Well, we'll probably do two in May because we'll do one in the lead up to Interleague as well. But we'll be here every month throughout the 2016 season, bringing you everything happening in the world of netball in the MCDFNL. My name's Shaun Kelly. I'll be sitting in the host chair for the season, and alongside me every month will be the AFL Goldfields netball manager, Kim Bailey. Kim, welcome to the MCDFL Netball Show.
Thanks, Shaun. It's great to be here and so excited to have our own show dedicated to MCDFNL Netball. It's a great league. It expands all age groups, and I just love it, and it's really exciting and something for the girls.
Timing's perfect as well. I had a couple of comments in the last couple of days saying, why aren't you talking netball on the footy show? I said, just wait and see. We've got something special up our sleeves for you. So here it is, the MCDFL Netball Show. What we'll do, very similar to the footy show every month, we'll talk the three major talking points in netball in the past month or since we've last had a show, and then we'll look at the coming week's games and kind of give a bit of an overview of the all-over picture of the A-grade competition in the MCDFNL, but we'll also touch on any stories that are in the other grades. If you do have anything that you want discussed on the Netball Show on a monthly basis, feel free. Send Kim an email, kim@aflgoldfields.com.au. It's on the screen at the moment. If you know of anybody that, I suppose, needs some love on the Netball Show, if there's any major stories that you want discussed on the Netball Show throughout the year, let us know about them, and we'll do everything we can in our power to make sure they're discussed. We'll also have some special guests on throughout the year as well, so very much looking forward to it.
If you have someone playing 150 games or 300 games or whatever, just let us know, because we'd love to celebrate those milestones with everybody out there.
That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. So our talking points, we're going to start, and we're going to turn the Wayback Clock a little bit back as well, because we're going to talk about the Regional Victoria Netball League competition that played in the summer months as our first talking point, and the MCDFNL's representation in the Open team in Ballarat, and then the 15 and unders playing in the North Central Regional VNL competitions, and some really good results from both teams, Kim.
Yeah, we'll start with the 15s. They were supposed to be in the Central Highlands competition, but unfortunately we couldn't get enough teams in the Central Highlands, so we actually slotted the girls into the North Central League, which played on a Thursday night in Bendigo. Really, really strong competition. The Echuca teams dominated that area. But our girls, it was a great learning experience for them. Kylie Mortlott was the coach, and she's such a great coach for kids. And really, we saw a lot of improvements from the start of the season till that final game. Only 4 in there in the competition, which meant we made finals.
Good, very good.
The scores were most probably not indicative of how good the standard of the game was. As I said, those Echuca teams were extremely strong. So we did go out in the first final for the 15s, but some great results, and it's good to have the kids playing against some other players from around our area in country Victoria, and some of those Echuca teams had some state players as well. So our girls were really pushed, and it was great to see Lindley Eastlick as well get selected in the All-Star team.
Fantastic achievement.
So really, really pleased with her. So yeah, a bit of a learning curve there for some of the 15s because they were so strong. And then we moved over to the Open team.
Yep, that did play in the Central Highlands competition down in Ballarat.
So we were lucky enough to have enough teams. I think we had 5 or 6 teams. I can't remember now. It's so long ago.
5 from memory.
Yep. And I think it was most probably one of the strongest teams we've had in for some time.
It certainly was. It was a cracking team.
It was an absolute ripper of a team. And we had Jess Parry, who was the coach, who came back from playing VNL last year. So she was able to play this year. And they had some really, really good performances and finished 3rd, pushed the 2 top teams both times, beat the Riddle District Football Netball League both times.
Who did top up with VNL players as well throughout, so it's an extra special achievement to knock them over.
So there was strength all over the court. Really, really pleased with their performance. Got bundled out in the first semi by Wendouree Netball Association, who lost the grand final by a goal. We were right in that semi-final game up to half-time, and then they just pulled away from us a little bit. But a great performance. Jess Williamson was named as Coach's Most Wanted, which I think might be the second year in a row, or she might have
Yeah,
been
definitely.
MVP last year.
No, second year in a row. I think it was the coach's most wanted trophy.
Yeah, so she drew with Riddle's Christine Harris on that. So great performance. And then we had Crystal Fisher and Jess being named in the All-Star team as well. So both of those girls had extremely good tournaments. So really pleased with the girls, and they deserved it. It was a great effort.
They did fantastic tournaments, and then of course Jess has a great tournament with us in the RVNL and up and buggers off and goes to play in the Wimmera League with Ararat. Thanks, Jess.
Yeah. Look, it's hopefully we'll get her back again. So might be a year out, but I think her partner plays up there as well. So these things happen, but yeah, we'd love to have Jess back in our competition anytime.
I'm putting some work in. Her brother plays footy at the Rebels, so I'm putting the work in to say get Jess back to the competition quick, smart. Talking point number 2, whilst we're on the subject of representative netball, our junior interleague sides named up and flying at the moment. We know that we have a fantastic junior representative program throughout the league that play in zone championships and association championships, and they played on the weekend in the Ballarat Netball Association tournament. A couple of weeks' time they've got the WorkSafe AFL Victoria Country Championships coming up. Tell us a little bit about the junior rep program for the year, please, Kim.
Yeah, we're really pleased that our junior team have been selected, and they're quite strong as well, and it's a really even base of teams this year. It's really well spread. It's not sort of top heavy of one particular team. I mean, it just shows you the talent that's through the whole competition. So we have Vanessa Saunders coaching the 13s.
Yep.
So her 13s played on the weekend in the B&A tournament. Didn't make finals, but I think they won 3 games. So that'll be better for the first run. They've only been selected, I think, about just over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
so they've had one training run together. So a great job for the girls. They did a really good effort.
Great to see.
And then Kylie Mortlott has the 15s. So it's continued on again. Didn't make finals, but they did a really good job. Pretty cold old day up at Ballarat as well. Now, again, they've had a little bit of experience together playing RVNL, but the team slightly
changed a little bit. I know they had about 35 or 36 at training or something like that to choose from, which is fantastic.
Every day I just kept getting email after email for these girls wanting to trial, which is great, and it just shows how important interleague is to the Maryborough League, Maryborough Castlemaine League, and so that's really good. And then we have Joan Pike and Maxine Klug, who are coaching the 17s. Again, just missed out on finals, but had a really strong competition. They can match it with these big teams, but they just need more time together. So their next outing, they will take on Horsham on the 21st in the country championships.
At Princess Park, of course.
Yeah, so it's great to have the whole complement we'll have there. So we'll have 13s, 15s, 17s and the open team.
It's going to be a big day.
A busy day, and I'm really looking forward to spending the day up with...
You're going up there for it?
Yep.
Very good.
Heading up there, Banner and I will be up there for the day.
Get some of the jelly slice up there as well that always seems to come around at these interleague events. So, Lorraine, get cooking on that very quickly, please.
So looking forward to spending the day and watching some great netball up there. And the open team hasn't been announced yet, but it's not too far away. Just Parry is continuing with that, so just getting some finalisation on that.
So keep an eye on the website.
Keep an eye on the website, yeah. And then I think it's the 28th, the Association Championships of May.
The next weekend after Country Championships,
or
Community Championships.
That's in Ballarat at Lambera, so pretty close for everybody. We will actually be putting in a second under 15 team. We've got a development team as well.
Very good.
So that's been announced also. Just finalising a coach for those girls though. So we think we have enough talent to play them in Division 2. So give more girls an opportunity to be TID'd.
Very good.
And also I'll have a look at some of the girls up on the 21st for TID opportunities as well. And then we have the match against Central Highlands, which is scheduled for the 10th of July. So we've got a little bit of a gap.
Yep.
And then I think we'll be playing that maybe, I can't remember where we're playing that, Limwoth, I think.
Okay. So it's at a Central Highlands venue though?
Yeah, Central Highlands venue because they played...
Which is good because most of those are kind of not far from Maryborough.
Yeah, we tried to do it.
Far from the regions as well, so...
And speaking to Rebecca from Horsham last night, we actually had a discussion about it and said, we'll try and keep it on the Maryborough Castlemaine side of the Central Highlands.
So somewhere like Clunes or Creswick or Limouth or somewhere like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Limouth. So that'll be great. Another opportunity. So there's lots of games for the kids this year, more than most probably had last year. So yeah, really looking forward to a great interleague campaign.
Fantastic. And then talking point number 3 is, I suppose, looking at the A grade competition after 3 rounds and looking at the ladder, and there's 3 teams that are undefeated so far. Navarre, who we kind of expect because they haven't lost a game since you were playing netball last, I think, which wasn't all that long ago, actually.
It was a fair while ago.
Oh, yeah, I think you played a couple of games last year, didn't you, or the year before?
Yeah, couple here
might
and
have
there.
done.
Couldn't walk the next day.
Having said that, it's Navarre, obviously, we know very, very strong, but great to see the 2 undefeated sides at the moment are Trentham and the Maryborough Rovers. Trentham, of course, with that fantastic netball improvement that they had last year, getting in playing finals, and Maryborough Rovers just going on in leaps and bounds and really benefiting from a strong junior program.
Yeah, it's a bit of a changing of the guard, and at the moment you see Natty sitting 7th.
Yep, with only 1 win.
Yeah, so I suppose it's too early yet to sort of look at the ladder. It's only been 3 games.
Exactly.
So, when we meet again, we'll be excited to see what the progress is like. In Natty, Naomi Medlin is not playing this season.
That's a huge loss, obviously.
Huge loss.
2-time Nolde Tracy Trophy winner.
So she'll be greatly missed. But Trentham, my goodness, they're on the march, aren't they?
They are indeed. Erin Richardson, of course, coming over from the Hepburn Footy Club, coming back home to Trentham this year. And Erin has been a long-time Central Highlands Team of the Year representative and everything like that as well. And she's got that team going really, really nicely at the moment.
Yeah, they look very good. They've got the Parks girls who have come over from the ADFL, I think, 2 years ago or a year ago. So, yeah, and with a sprinkling of young kids as well. So, be interesting to see how they go right through the season, but I think they can actually maintain the form.
Oh, look, they showed last year that they could match most of the teams going around. They've got an interesting game this week though against Talbot, and then the week after that's going to be their big test because they play Navarre in round 5 the week before the interleague break, so that'll really test them to see where they're at. And
it's the interesting game this week is Navarre taking on Rovers, who are also undefeated. So that will be another exciting game.
It will indeed.
Navarre coming off a big win, 90 goals to 6 off Talbot. So, yeah, not the type of results that we actually want to see. We'd like to see a little bit more consistency.
But having said that, with a couple of outliers, it's looking like a very even season so far. When you consider that you look, as you mentioned, Natty is sitting in 7th at the moment, Avoca are in 9th and Lexington are in 10th. Those 3 teams have been amongst the top 4 or 5 teams ever since I've been involved with the MCDFL for the last 4 years. So I suppose it just shows how even the league is, that they're now the teams that are having to fight their way back up the ladder. Yeah,
it's fantastic, and that's what you want a competition to be like every single week.
We do indeed. Speaking of every single week, let's have a look at what lies in store for this week in the MCDFNL's A-grade netball competition, starting with the game out at the Avoca Public Park between Avoca and Harcourt. Should be a very interesting game. Can be both of these teams traditionally very, very strong. I think, if my memory serves me correctly, the 2 home and away games between these 2 teams last year both ended in draws, if my memory serves me right. And then they met again in the finals, and I think it was a very, very close game as well. So this should be a fairly interesting game.
Yeah, Harcourt only a 3-goal loss last week to Carisbrook. So I think they'll be out to get the win. And I think they're... I like the Harcourt team. I think it's a big...
They've been steady for the last few years without being brilliant. And I suppose Harcourt last year were very good and really pushed some of the top teams. And they're starting to see that again this year. They're 2-1 at this stage. As you said, it was a very narrow loss to Carisbrook last week. But they just need to get that consistency going again and show us that they can push into that top 4 like they did last year, because that's where you want to be.
I think they'll be a club that's on the rise because they've got such strong juniors as well. Their juniors are just awesome, and they'll just continue to climb up the ladder, I think, once these girls get into the A-grade team and B-grade team and start to develop. So it's a good future there for them, and I'm tipping them this week.
Yeah, Harcourt for me in this one as well. Natty Biella taking on Denali at the Natty Yallock Rec Reserve. As we mentioned, Natty hadn't started the season all that well, dropped their first 2 games, got back on the winners list against Avoca last week, and you've just got a feeling that that'll get the girls up and about and get them pointed in the right direction again, up against a Denali team that haven't started all that well this year, but are always competitive, especially up against Natty.
Yeah, they are. And I love their spirit that they play the game in as well. Even though they do struggle sometimes, but they still love the game of netball. But
they do.
Yeah, I think Natty will have a comfortable victory this week.
Good to see Ebony Knights and Shanae Mills doing a great job in goals to start the season. Of course, Shanae's still very young.
Yeah, it's
still
a big
a
ask.
17 under player.
Had a look at her today, at some of her figures. For such a young girl, it's amazing that she's playing up there, and she's quite a strong player as well. So she'll be able to handle it. She just needs to watch the physicality of some of those
which
bigger defenders.
It gets very physical as well, and because Ebony is a very physical player as well, sometimes it can just flow back.
Yeah.
So almost let Ebony do the physical thing, and Shanae can just sit back at GA, concentrate, exactly, get the goals in when you need to, because that's where she's going to be valuable to the team.
Yeah, but it's great that they, as I said, these clubs are blooding these young kids.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic to see. And Natty also with a fantastic junior program. Malden taking on Lexton. Always a good game when these two play in the netball ranks. This will be no exception as well. Malden starting the season pretty well. They're in 4th place on the ladder at the moment. As we mentioned, Lexton haven't started off that well this year, but a few players are working their way back into it. Great to see Rach Phelan back on the court this year as well. Obviously, after having Juddy last year, she's back on the court and back up with that unique shooting style that she's got up and flying this week. But going to be a tough ask against a Malden side that have always been good.
Yeah, I think Lexton will be disappointed with their start, to tell you the truth. And they'll be really hoping to get over Malden. But they've had a great start, Malden. 2 from 1. Can't be upset with that. And
Definitely
I think
not.
they'll have a comfortable victory.
As Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And that's exactly where Malden's sitting at the moment. It'll be 3 from 4 after this weekend, though. As you mentioned before, match of the round this weekend taking place at the Navarre Sports Complex. The undefeated Grasshoppers taking on the undefeated Maryborough Rovers. This is going to be a ripper.
Great game it should be. It'll really
we'll learn a lot about the Maryborough Rovers in this game more than anything
exactly
else.
what I was going to say. So it will, we'll see where they actually sit in the pile, to tell you the truth. So it's going to be a really hard game for them. You just look at the Navarre team, and they're just full of stars. Ree Davis is just playing some exceptional netball.
They are so hard to defend because you've got Ree there, you've got obviously Jess Parry as well, the team so well together. And if something does go wrong there, they can swing Taylor Mason down as well, who, as we know, has won A-grade grand finals as a shooter. And she was best on court in the A-grade grand final last year, I think. So absolutely no slouch. She's a former Victoria representative at 17 under level as well. So just, as you said, stars on every line. Yeah,
and they're coming off a massive win. And obviously their shooting percentages were awesome. I think they shot at, 183% and won at close to 90. Those
when
two
you're
girls.
getting that many shots at goal, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so they're just an awesome team. But in saying that,
so are the Rovers at the moment.
And they're bringing the kids through as well.
Yeah, and they're ones that again are really benefiting now. You mentioned Harcourt before with the strong junior program. The Rovers are really starting to see the benefits of that now because they've had strong juniors all the way through the age groups for the last few years.
One of the Raven girls actually got a game up in A-grade the other day.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it might have been Abby.
Yeah, I think it was Abby.
Yep.
Yeah, so, they're bringing these girls through. And you've seen them play interleague. I've seen them at association champs and you think, oh, yeah, they're looking all right.
Yeah.
So, although there's going to be big improvement with Rovers, I just don't think at the moment we can actually go against a team that was undefeated last year.
Exactly right.
And just come off a massive win, so I'm going.
And they've given us no reason to think that they're going to be anything other than that again this year. Having said that, as we said before, really good learning opportunity for the Rovers to see what the benchmark of the competition can do. And it may be a week where they may cop a 30-goal loss, but you take that because then you learn from it, especially in games against Navarre. You analyse it, you learn from it, you see what went wrong and what you need to do. And I've just got a feeling that the Rovers could be winners from this game, whether the scoreboard says it or not, because it's going to be a great experience for them.
I think it's defensively that's most probably. If you look at the two defence line, Navarre have only given up 48 goals in 3 games,
which is ridiculous.
Awesome. And Rovers have looked at 86. So you start to think, can the Rovers defenders stop that combination down there of Jess and Reed together?
Yeah.
No one's been able to do it so far.
They're averaging 60 goals a game.
Yeah, so you look at it, and they're about 40 goals up on them to Navarre.
Yep.
So, yeah, really interesting. Well, that defensive stat, I'll be looking at that next week and just having a bit of a rethink about things, hopefully, and we might be seeing a little bit different. I'd love it to be a close game.
Yeah,
I'd love it to be really close.
Great.
Yep.
I just can't see it. I think Navarre are going to be it'll be 15 to 20 goals, I think.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Moving on, Newstead taking on Royal Park this week, and two teams that this is a very important game for them. They both sit with 1 win and 2 losses. Two teams that I suppose are going through a bit of a rebuild phase over the last couple of years, but have shown some real signs this year, and both will consider themselves a great chance for victory this week.
Yeah, look, the game Royal Park played last week against Rovers was pretty good and pretty close. I think they're a team on the rise as well. I know every team's on the rise at the moment, but I think they're going to be an improved team this year, and I'm going to tip them this week.
Tipping Royal Park?
Yep.
I'm going to go with Newstead simply because they're at home. Good side, still learning each other. Jasmine Coleman coming back into the team this year makes a huge difference as well.
Yep.
Former Interleague and Regional State League representative, and just feel at home, they'll be able to get the job done.
I was impressed by Royal Park's results last week against Rovers, so yeah, I'm going to stick with Royal Park.
We can't agree on everything. It'd make for a boring show if we did as well. Trentham taking on Talbot this weekend in the twilight down at Trentham Reserve, and the Saints are up and about at the moment. They are marching in like you would not believe, and they're going to go 4-0 after this week, which is a fantastic start for the Trentham girls. Look,
Potato Diggers, good on them. They're having a great start. As I said, we have the Park girls. I'm really impressed with those two girls. So I think they've just added that extra grunt that they most probably needed. Stacey represented us in the RVNL this year, so that's the type of player that she is. That's how highly I rate her. So it'll be a good game, but I think they might put their foot down and maybe just give Talbot a little bit of a touch-up this week.
I think you might be right, Trentham, to be too strong in this one. Last game for the week, Carisbrook taking on Campbell's Creek. I was really impressed with Campbell's Creek's result against Newstead last week as well.
I think.
Only 7 goals in it for a team that are back up in A grade this year after struggling for a couple of years. They're really starting to take some steps, and I reckon they'll feel that they're a sneaky chance to get this one against Carisbrook this weekend, because Carisbrook have been going okay without being super great. And I reckon, look, Carisbrook will start as favourites, and I'm tipping Carisbrook to win.
Yeah.
But I've just got a feeling that down at Creek, they'll be really confident for this one, especially after a competitive game last week against a pretty good Newstead side.
Yeah, look, it must have been a really good game out there, and the percentages of the goals were pretty good. Again, defensively, I think that Campbell's Creek just aren't strong enough there at the moment. And
but that'll come.
That'll come, yeah. But I think I just had a mental blank.
Carisbrook taking on Campbell's
Sorry,
Creek, of course.
I think Carisbrook will have a comfortable victory as well.
Yeah, Carisbrook for me as well. And that brings to an end the MCDFNL Netball Show for this week. As we said, we're going to come back every month, except we'll make a special exception during the Interleague week. Coming up in a couple of weeks' time to preview the WorkSafe Community Country Championships games against the Horsham District League, and we'll look at all 4 games, I think, in the lead up to that, not just the open games. So, junior folks, you'll get some love throughout the season. Of course, in future weeks, we'll look at all the grades as well, and I suppose give a bit of an overview. You can say.
I just want to say thank you to all the umpires that helped out over the weekend. Tournament, I made some frantic phone calls for some people. We need some more umpires for a different league, for the Ballarat League. So I really appreciate everyone's help up there and support. So thank you, ladies.
And thank you as well for watching us here on the MCDFNL Netball Show. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks. We're very much looking forward to it. We'll see you then.